So this video is going to be a little bit controversial, but the best way to put it is EA has sort of screwed gamers out of $100 and maybe even more. Let's get into the video. Here we go, back at it yet again with another video. G'day guys, I'm Champ Chong. If you end up enjoying this video and you hate being screwed by video game companies such as EA, make sure you smack that like button real good. Anyway, just before we do dive into the topic of today's video, let me know in the comments down below, in what way have you mostly been screwed by a video game company? What has been the worst thing that's happened to you due to a video game company not playing fairly, essentially? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, but now let's get into today's video, which has to do with EA, Anthem, and Battlefield 5, and well, us gamers not having a real fair shot with the money we're spending on their games. So just a few days ago, this Reddit thread went up and it basically detailed how in Australia that the servers for Battlefield 5's Firestorm game mode, which is their Battle Royale, isn't actually working the way it was intended because of the low player count, and that was due to the high ping number that everyone was getting in the first place because EA's servers just weren't working the way they're meant to. They didn't really have local servers. They had kind of Southeast Asian servers and all this stuff. And well, it seems that it's gotten even worse now because before you would have to actually go in and wait about 10 or so minutes every single night depending on what system you're playing on, Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. PC is probably the worst, to be honest. They probably waited an hour to get a game, or they probably only get a couple games a night. And well, now it seems like you won't ever even get a game except maybe on a Friday night. And this video is going out on a Friday, so if anyone has the game, go test it out tonight at prime time between like 6 and, I don't know, midnight or something. So, yeah, like the thing is, it seems like on face value, like, oh, whoa, it's just Australia. No, but this could potentially hurt the rest of the world, and it could potentially see it happen everywhere in just a few weeks from now or a couple of months, and the game will be completely dead. Now, the reason the headlines are stating that EA has screwed gamers out of about $100, especially here in Australia, and potentially the rest of the world very, very soon, because the player count keeps going down because, well, you just can't get games, and that's not fun sitting around in lobbies. And, well, the reason for it basically screwing you out of $100 is, well, the game costs $100, and so many people, I know, so many people that got this game specifically for Firestorm, and now they can't play it just less than basically 6 months after the release of the game, around 6 or so months, which is really, really sad because guess what? The initial game, Battlefield 5, came out about 6 or 7 months ago, but Firestorm's only been out a couple of months at most, really, when you think about it. And if you bought the game expecting that for about $100, and look, it is $100 in Australia, guys. Most places are going to sell it between $80 to $100. If you get the deluxe mode, it's even more, which is just stupid. I don't know why you would do that. I guess, oh, cool, you get some skins or something like that for Firestorm and for the regular multiplayer modes. But it's really sad what we're seeing right here because EA are still advertising this game. You will go into stores like an EB Games or a JB Hi-Fi, and Firestorm is one of the big selling points of this game, and you can't even play it, especially on Xbox. I know that for sure. Friends have told me that. And then also people in the Reddit, I will state that. People have stated in the Reddit, you basically can't find a game on Xbox within like half an hour. You'd be queuing and you won't even get a full lobby, really. And then on top of that, and this is a AAA title, it's crazy. It's just showing that the old way of games is dead, and I'll get to that in a second. But on PlayStation, as I said, every Friday night or maybe every single weekday or even on the weekends at nighttime for a couple of hours here and there, you can maybe get a few games in before people just log off because it's not fun losing after queuing for like 15 or 20 minutes. It's just not fun. But that's the thing. This game is pretty much dead out the water, similar to another game that people paid about $100 for, which is Anthem. We already know about this one, guys. This one is just a complete mess. EA have already come out and said that, well, we're sorry, like, we weren't expecting this. And it was kind of their fault. They released Anthem, Battlefield 5's Firestorm, and even Apex Legends out of nowhere, all around the same time roughly, which is just ridiculous. I don't know why they went for that strategy. That just seemed kind of stupid. Who's going to play what? It just didn't make any sense because they're all kind of similar games in a way. They're all shooters, and it just seemed ridiculous to do that, and it was a bad business plan, just failed. It just failed for them. So I guess the question is, what are EA even going to do? I think they should honestly make the games free, both of them, and give an insane amount of exclusivity, like items, I don't know, just something to make up for those people that spent all that money, or refund them some. I don't know how they would even go about doing that. It just seems ridiculous. But they have to definitely do something, especially a game like Firestorm, just the game mode. Maybe make the rest of Battlefield 5 like still whatever the retail price is. But then you're going to have to make Firestorm a free downloadable. They should have done that from the get-go. They shouldn't have packaged this in there. I know DICE worked extremely hard on this, but it's a colossal failure, especially on the PC and Xbox, and probably in just a couple of weeks, the PlayStation 4. It's not a good idea. And speaking of all three of those, another thing, which would actually be a good idea, a great idea, an amazing, incredible idea, would be to implement crossplay. I don't understand why Fortnite and Rocket League are basically the only two major popular games out there that do crossplay. It doesn't make sense. You've got Call of Duty that should be doing crossplay. I know they've got exclusivity stuff with PlayStation, but then so does like Fortnite and even Rocket League. They've got exclusive stuff that you can get just on those consoles, I'm pretty sure. But you've got Battlefield right here, EA. Make it so that everyone can play together, create lobbies, that way you can just cross-play, and you won't have that player base where it's like, oh, you've only got like 15% on Xbox, you've got 27% on PlayStation or PC, and then the rest on the other one. You know, you got to combine all that together, and you've got to make it actually work that way, because it's just a mess right now. It's a colossal failure, as I stated. And also, another thing I'm going to mention regarding EA, and this being a major big fail on their part, is that they actually came out and said that the old way of releasing AAA games doesn't work anymore. And it shows, especially for them. They're completely out of touch on how to release games now. Like, I will give them props on the release of Apex Legends. That came out of nowhere, it was for free, and it worked. It was fun, it was different, and that's the thing. It was fun and different and unique. It had its own things going for it. But with Firestorm, it's a little bit different. Like, than the other Battle Royale games. It has that Battlefield feel to it, but other than being just a little bit different, it really wasn't unique, and it wasn't worth that money. But a lot of people still had hope in DICE, but at the end of the day, EA crushed all that hope and still pulled it out as a $100 game, and a lot of people bought that, and now they're screwed out of their money because they can't even play the game 2 months after it's released, or about 2 months after the game mode released. So it's really sad that people have been screwed out of their money. I don't know how much you guys paid for the game, but it's roughly around that price, and it sucks. And you know what else sucks is that I did mention Anthem in this. This isn't all just Battlefield. A lot of people paid a lot for that game, but that game is also pretty much a mess right now. It was developed by a team of developers that should have been developing a single-player, amazing 100-hour campaign type of game, not this multiplayer / single-player kind of Destiny ripoff. It looked promising, but it turned out to just be this kind of shiny, cool-looking face value thing, but as soon as you opened it up, it was a mess. And even on the launch of the game, I remember sitting in that lobby waiting, because guess what? It just wasn't working. The servers didn't work, and I guess a lot of people bought this game because the servers were overloaded, apparently. They said they had record numbers and all this stuff, but I don't know if that's 100% true, because people left that game really quickly, and who would spend a full price, a full AAA price, that you're going to buy at store or online? Who would spend that much and then a week or two later just not play it? That doesn't really happen. It happens a lot with the Steam games that are about 10 to 15 bucks, but it doesn't really happen with these big, massive titles that are hyped up for so long. And I think that's a big problem. Hyping up games for 2 to 4 to 5 years. It's a massive problem, and it needs to just go away. And you might need to find some middle ground between the Apex Legends, like kind of boom, just out of nowhere release, and you need to find it between that and something like a AAA title. So it's just a big mess right now with EA. They have screwed gamers out of 2 games this year. A lot of people paid for Anthem, and a lot of people paid for Battlefield 5 expecting Firestorm to be something amazing. And guess what? Both of them just disappointed us. And hopefully it sends us a message, because it's sending EA a message. Us, the gamers, that's what I mean. We need to know that we shouldn't believe the hype for all these games, and we should really just lower our expectations and not give in to these companies that screw us over and over and over again. They shouldn't be releasing games for such high prices and then tacking on microtransactions and tacking on loot boxes and all this stuff. For example, Call of Duty just recently released like all these BS microtransactions on top of their game, which has a season pass on top of it. And it doesn't make any sense that you've got all these add-ons. The game ends up being a couple $100 at minimum. It's just a joke. And then 6 months later, nobody's playing it. It's sad. It's the sad reality we live in right now. And I think it's a transitional period that we live in right now, where game companies are seeing that we don't want any of this crap anymore. We don't want to be screwed over by the developers, by the publishers. Developers are doing great jobs, but the publishers are the ones trying to screw us all over right now. So yeah, hopefully we see some changes, and hopefully we don't get screwed out of our wallets yet again. I don't know what that next game will be, but I feel like it's still going to happen. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smack the like button. If you are a brand new viewer, click that subscribe button with the notifications on, and I will see you in the 90s or the early 2000s. Windows XP. You guys like it? Yeah. I don't know. I might keep it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.